What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? I hope you are having a wonderful day. It is November 9th, 2020. The Dow Jones is up 834 points, the Nasdaq is down 181 points, and the S&P is up 41 points. Now, today was one of the most historical gap-up days in history. As you can see on the S&P, we are up about 10 more points from where we are right now, and the Dow actually opened up over 1,600 points, which is actually insane. It's not the biggest day in history as far as uptrends, but that is a huge move on these indexes. But in this video, I mostly just want to talk about Bynd earnings, because Bynd was super crazy today, and after that I'll get into some other stocks and option plays I saw today, because the market was actually insane. But Bynd earnings was crazy. As you can tell, they're down $50, which is so insane. They went all the way down to 106 at one point. I'm going to be looking for a downside continuation on this for tomorrow. Hopefully we can find some cheap ones, but I'm sure the premiums are going to be insane because Bynd is insane. There was this stock TTD. They had earnings a few days ago, and the weekly options on this went crazy. You could have bought an $800 call in the morning for like $30, and that option went all the way to like $5,000 at the highest point. So there's been some crazy continuations. I just haven't really been making videos. I'm sorry for that. I'm going to be trying to get more into it, but let's get into Bynd earnings because they reported extremely bad earnings. I guess all the restrictions in other states and for other like restaurants that aren't like fast food related is really destroying Bynd's business, and they actually reported really negative on their earnings per share, so that really wasn't good. That's why they got extremely clapped. But even before these earnings, McDonald's came out with some news in their earnings call because they had earnings this morning, and they said that they're going to make a McPlant burger. After they announced that they were going to make the McPlant burger, Bynd started selling off. I tried to get in a 90 put for next week, but it didn't fill me. Literally, like right as I placed the order, the spreads just went crazy, so I wasn't able to get that. Bynd got halted right after that, and then it continued to go down, and then news came out later that the McPlant burger was going to be made by Bynd, so they ripped back up, and then they kind of sold off after that little rip, and then their earnings was just really awful. It kind of sucks that I wasn't able to get in a play on this. I wish I would have got filled on that put play, but it's all good. I had a call play before this stock halt right here, and I ended up getting out of it, which was really dumb in my opinion because I could have just held it for earnings, but I did pay a lot, so I didn't want to get completely clapped, which I would have. But after this news right here where they announced that Bynd was going to be making the McPlant burger, the options that I bought literally went up like 400% from the price I bought them, so it kind of sucked getting out of that, but I would have ended up losing on the play anyway because I probably would have just held it through the earnings. Yeah, that was kind of crazy. It was a really weird move today on Bynd, but in the end they ended up just getting destroyed. This could be a good long-term pickup once restrictions get lifted and stuff like that. I'm going to be keeping my eye on Bynd, especially for the continuation tomorrow though, because the continuations have been insane lately. A stock that gapped up like crazy this morning that I really wasn't expecting to move this big is Disney. They gapped up all the way up to about 147 at the high point, and I was looking at these plays on Friday. I was going to get a 145 here for earnings, and they ended up hitting like a $600 max price, which is insane. That would have been like $30 to $600, almost a 2,000% gain. I did have some XLF calls. I had some that were completely worthless on November 20th. I had these 28 calls right here. I ended up being able to sell those for $25 a piece, so I didn't really make that much on that play because I spent a lot earlier on, but they did come out of the grave, so that was super awesome. I also had a longer term one that I made a pretty decent flip on, so I ended up just selling all my calls today because whenever the market gaps up like this, it usually doesn't continue. Like a lot of stocks will rip at the beginning of the day, but there's usually a big sell off after big gap ups like this. So I don't know if we're going to keep continuing to go up. This week's just going to be insane, so I hope you guys are ready. But as far as the market goes, I'm just going to be taking it slow. I'm going to be trying to get little plays here and there. I spent quite a bit on puts today, which was a bad idea in my opinion. I should have kind of slowed it down a little bit, but I'm sure I'll be able to get out of those in the morning if we continue to sell off or we have like a little gap down and then we continue to go up. I'm expecting the puts to be decent, but I should have just took it slowly because the volatility is insane right now. Could get clapped on any play, but at the same time, you could hit a crazy play. Like I said, this is one of the most historical gap ups to date, so anything could happen at this point. The market's been so crazy. At this point, anything could happen. But yeah, just keep your eyes open for cheap options. There's going to be opportunity. Be sure to make a long term so you can ride this wave. Leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'll see you guys in the next video.